Hello everybody, welcome back for one more game with my Evo Aggro deck. I hope you guys are enjoying these videos. I am definitely enjoying making them, and I am definitely enjoying being sort of a guest star on Kevin's channel. So this is probably going to be my last game, and then I'll do a quick wrap-up video. This is going to be against pretty much mono-green, well, not mono-green, it's green-red devotion with a splash of blue. I mean, he's mostly concentrating on green creatures, but there is some red in there, mostly for stuff like Dommy Raid and Xenagos, I think he pulls off in here too. But yeah, it's mainly green though, mainly green creatures. So let's get on with it. We are going to be on the play as we like it, and we have a really great starting hand. This is pretty much the type of starting hand we want to see. Couple of lands to get started off with the Gyre Sage, Rakdos, Cackler, Evolve sort of little combo there, and then hopefully pull another land into a Renegade Crisis, and then possibly play our Bow of Nylea down. Bow of Nylea is really nice. It hasn't seen much play in my deck, even though I do have, I think, 2 of them, and then we do get our 3rd land, which is awesome. I don't want to show off that I have red yet, just pretend I'm playing mono green. I like to give my opponent the least information as possible. So we just leave our red back just for when we're ready to play Rakdos Cackler. So we are, I'm not really sure of the name of this color combination. I mean, he's mostly playing green creatures, so I just called it, green-red devotion with splashing blue, because he does play a Cyclonic Rift in here, which is interesting. So we are going to Rakdos Cackler, and then bump up our Gyre Sage to a 2/3. So, I believe that's what we do, yeah. I was thinking of maybe just playing Renegade Crisis, and that'll still get the Evolve trigger off of Gyre Sage, but I figure this might be a little bit better, just in case he is playing some removal or something like that. But we do use the counters, I think, to get our Renegade Crisis down anyways, apparently. Sorry, I am doing these post commentaries, so I do forget some little things that I do at the start of the match. But I think at this point I know he is going to be playing mainly a creature-based deck, and we do have our Gruul charm, so I just sort of want to accelerate my board state as fast as possible and try and get some damage in where I can before swinging in for one final blow with Gruul charm. So he's going to attack with Burning Tree Emissary, and we aren't going to block it because we don't want to kill off our Renegade Crisis. We're fine with taking 2. And he's going to play another Sylvan Caryatid, so it's a little bit of a defense that our Rakdos Cackler can't get past until we pick up something that can boost up its attack. Sadly, we don't pull into another creature. It would have been nice to pull into a Gorklan Rampager, because I would have played that as a creature, mainly because it'd be getting a 4th creature on the board and evolving every single one of our guys, which would have been awesome. Of course, other than Gorklan Rampager, but still, it would evolve Gyre Sage double, actually, because it would evolve from the Gorklan Rampager, and then it would evolve again from the Renegade Crisis. So that's sort of why I like this sort of creature synergy right here. We do attack with everything. All of our guys have Death Touch, so we're fine with trying to race this guy. And unless he wants to lose 2 of his mana dorks, he is not going to block. So that is fine with us, because he's taking 3. He's taking 8 damage, which is a nice token damage. This is sort of where we want to be at. Hitting for 8 is a lot, and we are definitely the aggressor in this matchup. He wants to build Devotion to play big creatures like Polukranos. We want to kill him before he does that, or at least get him to a point where we can swing him with Gruul charm. Even if he does get Polukranos on the board, it shouldn't really matter. It shouldn't really matter to us. So he's going to scry something to the top of his deck. I don't really like seeing that, of course, but it happens. So that's why scry is awesome. So we do get a Gorklan Rampager. Now, what I should have done is what do I do here? Do I play Gorklan Rampager? I think I was debating on it, and I think I should have, actually, because it would have evolved all my guys and could have swung for a lot. I think I was seeing what I could do with Bow of Nylea. And I definitely do sort of a misplay here. That's definitely a better way I could have done this. I should have just played Gorklan Rampager and evolved all my guys. But I do put a 1/1 counter on Renegade Crisis, I don't really know why, honestly. I can't remember why I did that. Because it makes him harder to evolve, but it's okay. I mean, even if I did play my Gorkland Rampager, he would have Cyclonic Rift my Renegade Krasis, I think, anyways. So, but at least Gorkland Rampager would have been on the board, and it would have been another threat he would have had to deal with. So that was sort of a misplay on my part. Excuse me. But it happens. So we are just going to be swinging in for 5, I think. I think my Gyro Sage is a 3-4. Or 2-3. My preview window I'm doing this narration on is a little bit too hard to see, so I can't really tell. But I think he might just have 1 counter on it, actually. No, he would have had 2 from another one from Renegade Krasis. So he is a 3-4. So this guy does get a lot of Burning Tree chains in, which sort of sucks, but you know, here comes Garruk. Garruk we could care less about, because we do have our Gruul Charm, and this is pretty much why we're running Gruul Charm, is for these creature-based interactions, and just swinging through them, and swinging for the win, because we are swinging for lethal. Gyro Sage and Renegade equals 6, and Rakdos Cackler gives us the extra 2, but even so, we do have the 2 Gorkland Rampagers. If we would have had another red source, that would have been awesome. Giving 2 of our guys 4/4 pumps would be insane, and would have been very, very fun at the same time. But that's fine. Decided to swing in, and for the win. So we do win this first game, which is awesome. So these are the types of decks that we really like going against, where it takes them a little bit to get going, and they're mostly creature-based decks. Anything where we can sort of get in a lot of damage, and then do this where we can even swing in for a lot with Gruul Charm. So even if they do have a sort of defensive lineup, it's alright with us. We're not going to play Destructive Revelries, sorry. This deck is not going to be running any enchantments or artifacts. And I think we bring in the Lightning Strikes just to make some easy removal for those Sylvan Caryatids and Burning Trees, because those are his main roadblocks. We bring in the Mizzium Mortars as well, just for a little bit of extra removal, and if the off chance we do get overloaded, we can sort of wipe most of his board, because he's going to be filling up his board with a lot of mana dorks, and then those will essentially turn into chump blockers later, so we definitely want to get rid of those. We take out a Renegade Krasis. I didn't feel like it was extremely important in this matchup, and we also take out our Burst of Strength. I felt that just having straight removal would have been just better than having Burst of Strength. And we do keep this hand. This hand is actually pretty decent. Again, if we had those shock lands rather than guild gates, this would have been an amazing hand, but we don't. So sadly, we are left with being a little bit behind on our plays, but it's okay. We can still do Gyro Sage into Rakdos Cackler, and we do have a backup Rakdos Cackler if anything happens, or in the off chance we want to, we can just sort of play both of them at the same time and get 2 threats on the board at once, because his deck is not running a lot of removal other than Cyclonic Rift and I think some other things. I think he might be running Mizzium Mortars as well. I think we do see that in this match. But other than that, he is not running heavy removal, so this is definitely the type of deck we want to be playing against. So we get our Bow of Nylea. In retrospect, I probably maybe take out Bow of Nylea. I'm not sure. I don't think that it would have really... I don't think it really affects my game as much, and in reality it might slow down my board a little bit too much. But, it's still something that's nice to have, and it still sort of helps out when it can. So he does, of course, get nice Burning Tree chains, like he usually does, into Sylvan Caryatid. So he's already got, 5 Devotion to green, plus a Mana Dork very, very early on, so it definitely sucks for us. So I decided to sort of try and race him again. I think it was sort of the best idea at the time, and Rakdos Cackler, getting 2 Rakdos Cacklers out there, so 2 2/2s for 2 mana is pretty decent when we do pull our Rubble Belt, so we definitely can play that next turn as well, which will further evolve our Gyro Sage and also give us 3 attacking creatures with our Rubble Belt, so we can swing in and Rubble Belt can turn into a 7/7 on when he's attacking. So that is definitely why we're playing Rebel Belt. Get some early aggressors out there with Evolves, and then swing with Rebel Belt, and grow Rebel Belt to the point where we can swing in for a lot of damage, either with blood, or just sort of beat them down in general. Sadly, he does have quite a decent amount of mana to play a nice Mistcutter Hydra, which we can't really do anything about, and we don't want to lose our Gyro Sage, so we're not going to block with that. We do take the 4 damage, so that definitely sucks, but we do pull a land. Sadly, it would have been nice to have sort of a pump, because we already had a land in our hand. And now I'm just going to be playing the Rebel Belt, I think, to activate the Gyro Sage. And I think I was debating on what I could possibly do with the extra mana. If it was evolving to a 3/4, it would have been nice, because then I could use that extra mana for Gyro Sage to get a play. To play our Bow of Nylea. But sadly we only get 1, so it only turns into a 3/4. We only have 2 extra mana to spend, so we cannot play our Bow of Nylea this turn. But we do swing in with the Rakdos Cacklers. We're fine with trading the Burning Tree Emissaries for them, because they can't block anyway, so there's really no point in having them just sit there, so we might as well try and get some damage in when we can. And so he is going to play, I think right here he plays a Nylea's Disciple, which sets him pretty far ahead, because he can play Xenagos, and then he can use that +1 to give him enough mana to get him the Nylea's Disciple, which I think is what he plays here, which gives him a lot of life. He jumps back up to 25, giving him a very, very nice spread for my health, and he just needs to keep swinging with Mistcutter Hydra. There's not really much I can do with it, and at this point it's a little bit tough for us. We're a little bit too far behind, and with the amount of blockers he has, we just don't have any pumps like we need to. We want our things such as Gorklan Rampager in these situations to at least get damage in while we're destroying his front line. But sadly we only have Rebel Belt Maka, which, you know, he's just going to chump block if we do happen to play Rebel Belt Maka. So not much we can do there. Even if we hit him for a full amount, we're only hitting him for, at this point, 10, I think, because we would have Rebel Belt Maka turn into 7/7 and give him the extra 3 from discarding Maka. But again, with this situation, we just can't really afford to swing in, though, because just of his board state, he can just kill us on the swing back. So I don't think there was any other way I could have played this without losing, eventually at least. I think I could have bought myself one more turn. I think I could have not swung in with Rebel Belt and then keep up Gyro Sage, block with Gyro Sage, and then spend the extra mana on getting 3 life, and I think that would buy me another turn. But other than that, I don't think it would have really mattered. We would have to trade, I think, at least the Mistcutter Hydra. He swings in with everything. I do attack, just because there's no reason to hang those guys back. I make them both attack Xenagos. I just sort of want to get rid of that. In the long run, you know, him producing 2/2 red tokens is not what we want. Now, I think the mistake I did make here is to attack with Rebel Belt. I probably should have just left it back to block, because it could kill off the Burning Tree Emissary, and same with Gyro Sage. I could have blocked with both of those. We'd be taking 7, 8, 9, 10 damage, and then I could have, once I blocked with Gyro Sage, could have played Bow of Nylea and activated it for 3 life, and I think we would have been left with 1 life. But again, I think in that situation it wouldn't have really mattered. You know, we weren't able to attack and kill him in 1 turn anyways the next turn, so he did make a mistake, and I think he accidentally let his Xenagos die, but sadly it doesn't matter at this point. I think we are pretty much done. I think I miscounted, and I thought that I could block and still be alive, but I don't think that happens here. We just sort of die. So he just attacks with everything, and I think I misadded everything, and I did. If we did want to live 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, if we did want to live, I would have to have chumped the Mistcutter Hydra, and I accidentally misjudged, and I tried to trade with, well, not trade, but I thought I could just kill off the Nylea's Disciple without having my Gyre Sage die, and sadly that just made it equal to lethal. I would have had to have blocked the Mistcutter Hydra, and then I could have, while it's blocked, I could have just activated Gyre Sage and gained some life as well. So I don't think it would really have mattered though, because you would have killed us on the next following turn. I don't think there was anything in my deck that could have saved me. Actually, there might have been. If I put on Mizzy Mortars, we could have killed that Mistcutter Hydra, and we could have blocked everything else. So yeah, a pretty big punt there, I think. But you know, it happens. Miscounts here and there, they do happen, and I am still learning. So go easy on me. But we do like the starting hand going into the third game. It gives us 3 mana. We have enough mana to play pretty much something at every single point of the first 3 turns, which is definitely what I like in this deck. It definitely excels in the first few turns if you can get some really good draws. Sadly, there's not much to this last game. We do get some extremely good draws, and we did have a good starting hand. And the guys, you know, getting 2 experiment ones out there pretty much made this tons better, because we can get 2 evolve triggers off of Burning Tree coming in, followed by a Renegade Krasis. This guy was sort of sour about it. He pretty much just called it a nut draw and conceded, which gave us the win of the match. In my opinion, I don't think he really needed to do that, but we were fairly far ahead. But I don't really know what's in his deck. I don't know if he did have wins or not, or outs or not. But we do Burning Tree, get 1 evolve trigger on both of our experiment ones, and then we have the extra mana to spend on playing our Renegade Krasis, which gets a following evolve trigger off of our experiment ones, and we can swing in for 6, which is really, really nice. But I really don't think he had to concede. I don't know his deck, but he might have had outs. We did have a Gruul Charm sitting in our deck, so once we pulled that red source, we could swing in with a lot of damage. So essentially, yeah, it is pretty much game. But it was sort of very disappointing that he didn't allow me to actually play the game out. He just conceded. But you know, it's fine. I'm glad we got the win. And maybe he might have been mana flooded or something like that. And all he does was pretty much call nut hands or nutty and make the GG. So it's okay. It happens, you know. But hey, we got the win. That's all that matters. So my deck worked really well in this. As you can see, it definitely does a lot better in creature-based matches. Using Gruul Charm to sort of swing through, and it's still pretty aggressive that it can sort of beat down a little bit early. But yeah, I was overall pretty happy with this match, and it was nice not having something like Mono Black or Control to go against, and it was nice having to actually play against other creatures and interact with them. So I was really glad about that. I definitely hope you guys enjoyed watching this last match, and I am definitely glad, and I'm definitely thankful to Kevin for actually having these videos on his channel. If you want to check out my channel and subscribe, I am going to be putting more MTG content on my channel as well, and hopefully in the future I can get some more videos out for Kevin's channel, or possibly do sort of a collaboration with him or something along those lines. But I'm sure we'll keep in touch, and I'm sure I'll let you guys know on my channel, and I'm sure I'll see you guys again at some point. Let's see, any other plugs I need to? I don't think so. I am just going to probably end it here, and I will do a quick wrap-up video for you guys. But until then, have a great day, guys.